Hi, I'm Adam Blight from Brock Harcourts Adelaide Metro Property Management, here to talk to you on this episode of Open House about property management and our services. Hope you enjoy.
Good afternoon and welcome to Open House. Thanks to Will and Mel and the team at In Daily. I'm Paul Rugala, filling in for Greg Moulton, who once again is over in New Zealand. I don't know what it is about that country, but Maltz just loves to get over there. Adam Blight on my left. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Paul.
I'll be speaking with Adam any second now about property management, and a little bit later on in the show, a pre-recorded interview from Greg Moulton with Chris Nichol. A very interesting chat, so stick around for the interview that Greg Moulton has conducted. As I mentioned, Adam joining us. Adam, we're here to talk about Adelaide Metropolitan Property Management. Now, to my thinking, that sounds like it's a pretty small area, but I reckon you're going to tell me something that is very contrary to that statement.
Well, that's right. We actually span right across the Metropolitan of Adelaide. So we go as far as Aldinga in the south and as far as Gawler in the north. So yeah, we've got a big area that we look after.
So have you always been involved with property management and always at Brock's as well?
Yes. Well, before we changed over to being a Brock Harcourts office, I've always been involved in the same office. Been involved for about 7 years now. Yep. And we're sort of going from strength to strength at the moment.
So I'd imagine covering that vast distance, it's quite a decent sized team looking after the Adelaide Metropolitan Property Management.
It sure is. We've got a team of about 11 staff members. Yep. Best staff you could ever hope for. Yep. Really young, dynamic team, and they take real pride in what they do.
Yep. Now, are we talking commercial or residential properties here?
It's all residential. That's what we specialise in. We don't try to go off in any other tangents. Yep. Residential is what we do, what we specialise in, and it's what we know best.
Now, property management, there are a lot of people out there that say, I've got an investment property, I don't need anyone to help me look after that. But surely that's a risky way to head into an investment. Well,
it is, and I guess one of the first things you're risking is possibly the hair on your head. And,
I don't have any investment properties. Okay.
I mean the stress levels. We take all the emotion out of having to deal with tenants and maintenance people and all that sort of thing. And I guess also it's all about crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Yep. It's about knowing the Tenancies Act and delivering on what we're allowed to do when we're allowed to do it.
Because there's a hell of a lot involved in getting a tenant in a house. It's a lot more than just handing over the keys.
Oh, absolutely it is. There's a lot of background checks that go into every application that we receive. Yep. And then obviously checking all their references. There's tenancy databases that we also check their background on. And basically we gather as much information as we possibly can. Then we contact the landlord, and the landlord gets the final say, and it's an educated decision that they make because they've got all the information on the tenants.
And I like what you said a little bit earlier on. You take the emotional side out of it because it can be quite difficult, and some people don't like confrontation. So if there's something wrong with your property, it's a lot easier to have a third party handling the issue for you. So, for example, maintenance or something like that.
Absolutely. We've got a phone line that's dedicated for maintenance. Yep. That's 24/7, and it's always manned by one of our staff members. So it's manned by a property manager or an assistant property manager. And they can decide, especially after hours. I mean, they're the ones that really kill you, where you've got a tenant that calls up and they've got a dripping tap at 11 o'clock, at night. And we know the Act and know that means that can wait till the next morning. All they have to do is sort of shut off the water. If there's water coming down through a ceiling, then it's a little bit different, and we can arrange people to go straight out there or otherwise go out there ourselves to check it out.
So as well as knowing the Act, you've obviously got contacts that you can call upon. So if it is that situation where the water's gushing down through the roof, it's not the landlord going through the yellow pages trying to find a 24-hour plumber and plasterer. You guys have got it all at your fingertips.
That's exactly right. Because we manage a lot of properties, we have a bit of buying power, if you like, with our tradespeople. And that means that the tradespeople we use will go out 24/7 if need be, and it means that they won't inflate the price.
That's very handy. Now, you won an award recently at the REI Awards for large property management.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that feather in your cap.
Well, basically it was judged on portfolio itself, so and the figures involved with that, so how many staff to properties ratio, we probably run a little lower than the most other offices. Yep. So rather than doing the one staff member to 100 properties, we take a little bit lower than that just to ensure that they're getting the right customer service.
That's great.
It also goes on your rent arrears rates, your vacancy rates, office achievements over the last year, goes on your business development plan, professional development, so the training that's all involved in keeping everyone up to date with the applicable laws and that sort of thing, marketing and advertising, extra service to your clients, and service to the community.
You mentioned that you basically go from the very north of Adelaide right down to the south in the metropolitan area.
Yes.
But with the team of 11, I suppose you've each got specialised areas that you're looking after?
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Basically we've got 5 area experts or 5 property managers.
Yep.
Okay, and they look after a certain section of Adelaide. They know that section of Adelaide, from all the back streets and main roads and all the rest of it, and that's a specialist area. Yep.
So if you were to put it in a nutshell, and I was coming to you, I've got a property, or it's someone coming with a portfolio of properties, what is the difference that you guys can offer so that you really get them across the line and looking after their properties?
Sure. Well, I guess firstly, having such a big team, it means that if your property manager's sick or they're on annual leave, because property managers will be away for 4 weeks a year.
Or in New Zealand with Greg Moulton.
Yeah, exactly. It means that there's someone else in the office, and there's always someone else that's going to be able to help you.
Yep.
We've got systems in place which are mainly customised, so we don't use the run-of-the-mill forms and that sort of thing. We've customised them from customer feedback, from landlord and tenant feedback, just to make sure that we cover off on all areas that everyone's after. And we're a specialised property management agency. That's what we do, that's all we do, and that's why we're good at it.
So basically, if your property is being looked after by AMPM, it's not going to turn up on Today Tonight with some tenant that's just absolutely trashed your house.
No, that's exactly right, actually. Earlier this week on Monday night, I actually saw a special on Today Tonight with some of those places, but no, we, touch wood, have not been on Today Tonight.
And I don't think you ever will be. Adam, thank you very much for joining us on Open House with that fantastic information on property management.
Not a problem.
Stick around, still plenty more to come on Open House. Chris Nichol, a feature interview done by Greg Moulton before he nicked over to New Zealand. That's coming up straight after the break on Open House here on AustraliaLiveTV.com.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Open House. If you need any more information on property management services, you can give me a call on 0419 824 880 or email on adam@brockharcourtsampm.com.au.